Everybody, it's me again. Today is the last day of orientation, so I figured I'd just kind of do one last video that you guys will get with the rest of them. Yeah, so like I said, today was my last day of orientation, and it was our, what we called the amazing race. So what that was is Larissa and I were having to go around Accra and find different things. So we got on, we went to the Trotro. By the way, if we think traffic is bad back home, and when I say back home I mean Ottawa, like that's one thing I know people complain about a lot is the traffic and how bad it is. And yeah, for Canada it is bad, but we haven't seen anything, honestly. Like something that would normally be maybe a half an hour drive. I don't know, it's hard to tell. We got into the Trotro at, I think it was I'll say 9:45. I don't think we got to our stop until about 11:30. So that's almost 2 hours it's an oven. It's because these are like little vans. I mean, I'll be posting pictures of them later. They're basically vans where you pack 15 to 20 people on, and of course everybody knows, you know, people are close together, they give off lots of heat, and it's not air conditioned. The only air conditioning you have is the windows that you open, and if you're like not in a window, you're gonna be hot. And for me, for some reason, I always seem to get stuck in the middle of the row between the two biggest people on the Trotro, and I sweat on people, and it's not pleasant for them. But anyway, not going to get into this too much. Needless to say, I don't like these things, and I'm glad I don't have to take them every day. Yeah, so we did this amazing race, and we just had to get a few things. Like, I know we had to send a postcard back to base camp's head office. We had to buy ice cream. We had to go to the art market, buy something there. We had to, just a bunch of different little things. Yeah, but for that time that we were there, it was really interesting because you saw how friendly the Ghanaian people were. Because we had one guy, I can't remember his name because he just kind of muttered it, just kind of mumbled it. He didn't really pronounce it. It kind of sounded like Sandy. I don't know, maybe that's just what I got out of it, but he basically said, "Where are you guys going? What do you need to see?" And he got out with us, and he was basically like our guide. And I never met this guy. He's not part of the program. He was just an average guy on his way to work. And, you know, I didn't think to ask him, but Larissa asked him once we got to like our final destination, like, what were you supposed to be doing today? And he said, "Oh, well, I was going to work." And we were just kind of, wait, then why did you help us? And he's like, "Well, you guys needed help, and, you know, I can always go into work tomorrow, because, I mean, I work for myself, basically." And we were just, wow, that is, like, really friendly. And it's not like he was one of those people like, "Yeah, I'll show you around now. Can you give me anything?" He helped us, and then when we said, it's like, "Yeah, okay, we gotta go." He's like, "Okay, nice to meet you." And he went on his way. So he literally took 2-3 hours of his day that he was supposed to be working, and he just said, "Yeah, I'll help you guys find what you need to find." And like, I just found that astonishing. That's because you'd never get that back home. There would never be anybody, like, they might stop and say, "Hey, are you lost?" "Yeah." "Okay, well, I'll give you these directions," but they would never actually come with you to all the stops that you needed to go. It wouldn't happen. But here, like, it just, I don't know. Maybe that's something that's rare here too, but I found that kind of neat. Yeah, so after that, we came back here. Well, I'm going to say we learned. We didn't really learn because we weren't really paying much attention. It was more a lot of socializing than learning. But we learned how to make fufu, which is the national dish of Ghana. Now, for those of you who don't know what fufu is it's basically soup and this mix. Now, what this mix is you boil plantains and yams. And when you guys think yams, it's not like sweet potato yams. They're not orange. It's white yams, and it's a lot like a potato. But you mash those up together, like really, really finely after you boil them. And you mix in just a little bit of water, and it becomes almost like a like a think of a bread dough before you put it in the oven. It's really I don't want to say slimy, but it's kind of close to slimy, if that makes sense. Which I know it probably doesn't, but it's hard to explain. So yeah, we had that, and what you do to eat that is you don't. I know I'm wiping my forehead a lot. It's like I said here the entire time. It's really hot, like so hot. Anyway, getting off track here. Yeah, so we ate that. But yeah, the way that you eat that is you take little pieces of the fufu, and you get something probably about that big-ish. You know, ish. Or at least we did. And you just eat it with your hands. You just kind of get a little piece of it. Obviously, put it in your mouth, but you don't chew it. You swallow it whole. And normally it goes down fairly easily. And you eat it with soup, like soup's over top of it. Kind of like what you would do with a dumpling and stew. Kind of. So yeah, you take that and it kind of slides down your throat. It makes it easier anyway. But yeah, so that was an experience, to say the least. From what I had seen on the base camp site, that was like a must-do for the Ghanaian culture. But yeah, so it was one of those things where you're eating it and you don't realize how filling it is until you're like 3/4 of the way done your second one, and you're like, oh my god, I think I'm realizing how filling this is, which is what happened to me. I got about 3/4 of the way, and I couldn't just, like, I had maybe that much fufu left, and I was like, okay, I gotta finish it now. Like, there was no way I was not gonna finish it. So I'm kind of bloated right now. I guess I should have said this at the beginning. It's Friday night. It's about 7:15 right now. I'm probably just going to be staying in my room and going to sleep. I hope that you guys are having a more interesting Friday night. I think it's coming around midterm time. I could be wrong. I know that's what somebody has told me. Maybe they're just not wanting to talk to me, or maybe they're preparing. I don't know. From what I've been told, it's coming up midterms for you guys. So for those of you in university and are doing midterms, good luck. I hope you do well. Yeah, and I hope you have a better Friday night than I'm going to have. Not that this is a bad Friday night, it's just rather uneventful. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. As always, you guys know who I am. Appreciate the love and support, and I will see all you guys later.